Hello everyone. Today we will see some of the important regulations or acts which is passed by the British Empire. So let's begin. We will be doing it through some tricks so that it will be very easy for you to remember for the exam. So it is purely based on shortcuts, and as well as you will be covering all the points in the shortcuts. Okay, I guess it's clear. So first is the Regulating Act of 1773. So regulating, I'm writing the word with red color and blue color. You can see in this. So first RE, we will see. RE stands for the Supreme Court. Supreme. So the first Supreme Court at Calcutta, Regulating Act, and GUL, governor became, and see this G and L, governor became Governor General. That is, Governor of Bengal became Governor General of Bengal. And governors of as he became the Governor General of Bengal, the governors of Bombay and Madras became his subordinates. So now what they are regulating? East India Company. So they are regulating what they are regulating. They are regulating the East India Company. So how they are regulating? Through a company's governing body called the Council of Directors, COD. There is a Council of Directors. They will be reporting on the various civil military affairs of the company to Britain. So this is it. I hope this was very easy for you. Regulating Act. RE4 Supreme Court. The first Supreme Court was established based on this act, and GUL4, governor became Governor General. That is, Governor of Bengal became Governor General of Bengal. And what they are regulating, that is this East India Company, through their Council of Directors. And how they regulate, they will write a report on the civil military relations to Britain. So this is it about Regulating Act of 1773. So next we are going on to the Pitt's India Act of 1784. So why this act was introduced? To rectify the defects of Regulating Act of 1773. That is the simplest thing. They passed the Regulating Act. After some time they found like there are some defects in it. They want to correct it. So they introduced Pitt's India Act. See, in Pitt's we are taking PITTS. In the P I am showing in red color. So you should imagine like company's properties. P came to be called British possessions. P. So earlier they were under the company. Now the whatever company is having, it will be under the British government or the British Empire. You can say that is, company's properties became British possessions. Then the first point is like company's property becomes Britain's. That is Britain's. Okay. And the second point, if you take the I, you can see the I. In that I, it is Imperial Crown or the British government. They became the supreme control over the company's affairs and its administration in India. And TT, see the color, two T's are of the same color. So it distinguished, there is something like TT, distinguished commercial and political functions. So commercial and political functions of East India Company were distinguished. Like commercial means trade, political means the administrative thing. Okay, so for commercial thing, C, commercial starts with C, so the COD, the Council of Directors, will be, COD will be also starting with C. So COD will be managing the commercial affairs, and BOC, the Board of Control, they will be managing the political affairs. So it was created for this purpose only. So Pitt's India Act, PITT. I hope it is clear for you. We will now go to the next one. The Charter Act of 1833 and 1853. You should compare this and study. This is what I am telling you. So in the Charter Act of 1833, Governor of Bengal became Governor of India. So all civil and military powers to him. And Governor Generals of Bombay and Madras, they lost the legislative powers. So that is one thing. So after this, all regulations came to be known as acts. So earlier, we saw regulating act. So after this 1833 Charter Act, after this, all things come to be called as acts and not regulations. And East India Company become a purely administrative body. From commercial, it became an administrative body. And there was a proposal for open competition to civil services, but it was rejected. So these are the main 4 points. With these 4 points, you will be able to generate the points for 1853 Charter Act. So first one, in 1833 Charter Act tells about the Governor General. So we will see, like, in 1853 what happened to the Governor General. So in 1853 nothing is happening to him. What is like he is getting more powers, it seems. His council became vast. So legislative and executive powers he separated. So one group will see the legislative power and another group will be seeing the executive powers in the council. Then there was a separate legislative council also for like it is called the Indian or the Central Legislative Council. And this new legislative council had local representation for the first time. And out of 6, the 4 seats were appointed by provisional governments of Bombay, Madras, Bengal, and Agra. So that's an important thing. So this is in continuity, Governor General's councils, became large, we can say, and he thought like, okay, I will separate the legislative and the executive powers. And there was a separate legislative council also formed for the Indian or Central Legislative Council. And in this legislative council, majority are Indians, and they were appointed by the provisional governments of certain places. So this is the first point you can say. Then in 1833 Act, it is written East India Company became from a commercial body, it became an administrative body. And in 1853, East India Company was told to retain the Indian territories for the British Crown. So it is like what happens to the Governor General, and what happens to the East India Company, and what happens to the civil service examination. These 3 points will be able to give you the it will help you in numbering both. So in 1833, open competition to civil service was proposed, but it was rejected. In 1853, open competition to civil service was introduced. So this is regarding the Charter Acts. Then after the Crown Rule, 1858 to 1947. So Government of India Act of 1858. It is also known as the Act for the Good Government of India, and it abolished East India Company. So we can remember the Government of India Act 1858 through a simple code DYSP. DYSP. And D for double government, because it ended the double government. You remember it puts in the act that TT, Council of Directors and Board of Control. Council of Directors for the commercial and Board of Control for the administrative. So these 2 bodies, this double government thing was ended. It ended, double government thing ended. Then Y for Viceroy. VNY, Viceroy. So Governor General's title came to be changed, and he came to be known as Viceroy. Then S for Secretary of State. A new portfolio called Secretary of State was created, and 15-member councils were placed to assist him. Then P for power transfer. Powers transfer from the East India Company to the British Crown. And they told there will be no more annexation, and there won't be any more interference in the religious matters. Because this happened immediately after 1857, they have passed this act in 1858. So they told no more annexation and no more interference in religious matters, because these are some of the factors which triggered the 1857 revolt. So Government of India Act is clear for you. So the next is the Councils Act of 1861, 1892 and 1909. I think we will discuss about these 3